Hi everyone, today I'm going to teach you how to make this flapping bird. Now, so keep flapping. Okay, so to do this we need a square piece of paper. And I'm going to start on the white side. We're just going to fold horizontal. Back up. Now I'm going to draw the lines as I'm folding so you can see them clearer. And then I'm going to fold the vertical. Okay. Now I'm going to fold a diagonal. Okay, so to recap, we've done the vertical, the horizontal, and one diagonal, all on the white side. Now there's a remaining diagonal here that I haven't folded yet. What we will do is turn the paper over and fold it on the other side. So if I turn the paper over, you see there's a remaining diagonal across here that has been folded. We're going to fold that now across here. So we're folding color, touching color. Okay, now once we've done that, I'm going to open it slightly and then turn it so it stands up. And it stands up a little bit like a triangular tent or like a wigwam. What we're going to do now is I'm going to push down on the middle. Push down on the middle point all the way until it touches the table. And you should see that this corner and this corner kind of pop up. Okay? And it might even spin a bit. There's on an axis there. What we want is these two corners that popped up. We're going to bring these two corners together, like so. And if you pinch them together like this, it kind of looks a little bit like a bow tie at the top. Okay. What we're going to do next is bring this corner and this corner to meet my middle finger. So we're going to bring this one like this. And as you see, the way we folded earlier, it makes the paper one collapse naturally on itself. So I will bring this will collapse there, and this will also collapse down. And you will end up with this square shape. And if you gently reinforce the creases, you should get the square base. Now have a quick look at the model and just get familiar with it. It's square. Now if you look on this side, this part opens up. Now if you look from the top, there's a point there, and you should see that there are 4 corners, 1, 2, 3, 4. And each one of these is a branch or an arm. And in origami, whatever you do to one arm, you would usually do to the others, because origami has a lot of symmetry in it. But anyway, we're going to put the model back down, and I want you to have the open side pointing towards yourself. So the point is pointing away from you. And what we're going to do is fold this open side, this edge, just the top branch, just the one branch, one arm, and we're going to fold it into the middle, like so. Okay, and I'm going to draw the lines just to make it clearer. So make the middle crease here. There's a crease that pre-exists, and we're just going to make this fold here. So this edge will fold into the middle. Now it doesn't actually have to touch the middle. It can be just next to it. Okay, once we've done it on one side, and we're only doing one layer, remember, we're not doing both layers. This bottom layer underneath stays where it is. We're now going to fold the left side as well. So we're going to fold the left side also over, and you do not want them to overlap. In fact, you don't even have to touch. There can be a little gap in between them. Okay, so if you have a look, you can still see the black line that I've drawn underneath. So they're not actually touching. They're not even overlapped. They're not overlapping. Now, once you've done it on one side, you're going to flip it over and do exactly the same thing on the other side. Now, you can use the bottom as a guide. So the triangle fold you did on the other side, you can use it as a guide. And what you should end up with is a kite shape that looks like this. Okay. We're now going to focus on this top triangle section. And all we're going to do is fold it down. Okay. So we're just folding from this corner to this corner. We're folding it down. Now once we've done that, what I want you to do is unfold it, turn it over, and repeat exactly the same fold on the other side. So all we are doing is bending it one way, then bending it the other way. And this just makes this crease there, this fold, a little bit more flexible, and it will help us later on when we're folding. Okay, once you've done that, bring it back down to the kite shape we did earlier. What we're going to do now is unfold everything back to the square base. So we're going to unfold this right and this left triangle. We're also going to do the same on the back. So if you flip it over, you can do exactly the same thing. So it's back to the square base. Now, what you will see is there is this triangle of creases that is in the middle of the square. Okay, you see this triangle creases. What I want you to do is rotate the model 90 degrees. Okay, and see where this triangle is, and see where this line is. Yeah, this is a crease. What I want you to do is you put your finger on it, or I'm going to put my ruler on it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to lift this top layer of paper. Okay, I'm going to lift it up, and then gently push it towards the right. So I'm pushing it that direction. As I do this, you should see that it pivots on that existing crease. So you're not bending it like this, you're not bending it in half, you're actually lifting this entire triangle section. So if you push your fingers right in to where that crease is, you should see that this part opens. And you're going to keep pushing it to the right. Okay? And once you get it to this point, I want you to run your finger along that existing crease. You're not creating a new crease, you're just finding that existing crease, you push it into the corner, and then run your finger all the way down. And just reinforce that crease. And you should see that it stays open now. It stays open like this. It looks a little bit like a bird mouth by staying open. What I want you to do next is put your finger on this corner, and then just push this all the way to the right. Okay, gently, do it gently. What you should notice is that the top and bottom edges sort of like open and close like a mouth, like lips, opening and closing. And that's exactly what you want to happen. You actually want the top and the bottom edges to come together. So if you just push them together, okay, then gently reinforce the bottom crease, this bottom diagonal, and this top one. Now you also want to do the same here. If you find that the paper is bending or curling backwards, just put your finger inside and just gently reinforce that existing crease. Fold these bits here. Okay, and then reinforce diagonals. And as you do this, you'll find that it will collapse down into this diamond shape. Once you've done that, turn it over and do exactly the same thing on the other side. So again, let me draw the existing creases. Okay, and again, I'm going to put my finger here this time rather than the ruler. I'm going to lift this section up and then push towards the right. So once it's open, find the existing crease inside the middle and just run your finger around that existing crease. And it stays open. Once you've done that, put your finger on this left corner and just push this all the way over until you see it open and closing like a mouth. Once you get to this point, just push those two bits together. Reinforce this diagonal, then do the same here and here. And eventually it will collapse down. Now, next, pick up the model and have a quick look at it. You will see that you've got these two things there that look like legs. Okay, these will become the head and the tail. If you open up the middle of the model, you see this triangle here. This will become the back of the bird. And you see these two things there that flap up and down? Well, these will be the wings. Okay, so what I want you to do is put the model back down on the table and have the leg bits pointing towards you. Okay, and what we're going to do next is we're going to fold the head and the tail. And to do that, we actually have to find the very center. Find the very center of the model, like this point here. Okay, and we're going to make a fold. Now, let me get the ruler. I'm going to put my ruler along that diagonal. And we're going to fold from the very center all the way to the edge. And this is going to be like a 90-degree angle. And we're going to fold this part upwards and to the left. And it will stay on this same diagonal. See how I put this? It will stay on this same diagonal. So if you're not sure, get a ruler, put it on that diagonal, and do that crease. To be honest, it doesn't actually make too much difference if it's a little bit off. But if you're not sure, you can use a ruler. And again, if the angle is a bit off, all it will change is basically the angle of the head and or tail. But it must start from the very center. It must start from that very center. And we're going to fold it this way, like so. And you will have something that looks like a W. Okay. So once you've done this fold, I want you to unfold them. And like earlier with the triangle, I want you to turn it over and do exactly the same fold on the other side. Okay, let me draw the lines so you can see them. Okay, so we've made the creases for the head and tail. Now, right now, just have a look at the model. Just look what I'm doing here. Now, right now, these two triangle bits are on the outside of the body. So you see the two wings there? This is on outside. What we're going to do next is called an inside reverse fold. What that does is it will make this triangle flap to appear on the inside between the wings. Now, I'm just going to show you this first, so don't do anything, just watch. Okay, all I'm doing is bending this triangle section so it becomes inside the middle of the wing. So whereas you see this one, this is on the outside, this is now on the inside between the wings. Okay, now how do we do this? Well, let me show you. I will show you step by step. Okay, now earlier we did these folds. What I want you to do is lift this section, this little triangle section, this big triangle section, and almost turn it like you're turning the pages of books. You're turning it from the left to the right. So just this section, left to the right. And you're going to turn it nearly all the way over. And what you should notice is that there is a pre-existing crease here. Okay, that was created from this side. But you're now going to focus on this pre-existing crease. What we are going to do next is lift this point upwards. Okay, I'm going to lift this point up, but it will pivot on those two existing creases. So as I lift this upwards, I'm then going to push it slightly to the left. So I'm going to run my finger down this crease there, just underneath it, just gently run your finger along it. And as you do this, you will see that it naturally wants to collapse over to the left. Okay. And as you push this down to the table, you can push this section over as well, and it will collapse. And this is an inside reverse fold. Okay, let's do the same on the other side. So exactly the same, but just mirrored. Note this diagonal here that you created when you folded this section. All you're going to do is lift up this flap, push it to the left. Take note of the diagonals crease that you pre-made. And exactly the same, you're going to lift this point up, straight up. But once it goes straight up, you're going to push it slightly to the right. And you're going to keep doing that until it collapses down onto the table and then flatten it. Okay, once you got that, you've got this kind of W shape going on. And then we're going to fold the head next. So normally one side is neater than the other. The side that's less neat, in this case this one, will become the head. I'm going to create the head's hair. Now all you need to do is to create the beak is to fold this section down. So you can choose any distance. I'm choosing about 2 centimeters here. Just fold down, make a nice sharp crease there. Okay, and like earlier, I want you to then turn it over and bend it the other way. So all you're doing is bending it one way, then bending it the other way. So backwards and forwards. And again, this is to make it nice and flexible. So once you've done that, what we're going to do is lift this section. And you should see there's this almost right angle crease that you created. All you're going to do, this is going to be another inside reverse fold, but this one's a bit easier because all you need to do is lift this and just bend it down and it will pivot on those diagonals. As soon as it bends down, all you need to do is push this part together and just pinch it at the top. So just pinch it on the head and this will lock, well, basically secure the head. So let me get that beak a little bit bent, something like that. And you end up with the head and the beak. Okay, we're nearly there. We got 2 more folds. What I want you to do next is locate this section here. So follow the wing all the way down until you hit the neck of the bird. So this is the position we're talking about. Then follow the wing all the way back until you hit the bottom edge. So we're talking this section here. Now we're going to trace a line from that neck or shoulder point all the way to the back of the bird. Okay, and that is the fold we're going to create. So we're going to fold that diagonal and it goes forwards. Some of you might think the wing should basically head backwards, but it's not. We're actually folding this tip forwards so that this tip is underneath the beak. Once we've done that, we do exactly the same thing on the other side. So again, follow the wing all the way down until it hits the neck. So this point here. Then follow the wing all the way down to the back until it hits the bottom edge, which is this point here. And we're doing the same crease. And you can use the bottom wing as a guideline. So it should be symmetrical. Okay, now that's it. Now to make the bird fly or flap, what you need to do is bring the wings up. So bring them up so it's perpendicular to the body. And then I want you to hold the bird with your left finger and thumb by the chest here. Now to make the bird flap, everybody thinks you do this. You go up and down. This doesn't do anything. What you need to do to make the bird flap is you need to pull the tail so it's slightly below the horizontal, about there. And you have to pull backwards. So you have to pull backwards and forwards. So again, you have to pull backwards and forwards. You're not going up and down. Up and down doesn't do anything. You have to go backwards and forwards. Now, if you find that your wing isn't flapping symmetrically, all you need to do is just basically adjust the wing slightly, and eventually you should have a very symmetrical flap. And that's how you make a flapping bird. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.